this, Keith?
It looks like a box.
The patterns have delicate details.
But how can I open it?
Now you should use your brain. So, who can open these two boxes first?
This box seems to have no crack to open, teacher.
I think this one can move.
Keep trying.
Huh? This part can be pulled off.
Yeah, I did it. What an ingenious box.
Read. The box comes from Hakuna, Japan. The style and pattern of this box is named Yoshiki Zaku, or Parquet work. It's composed of different natural woods and different colors. The variety of patterns are popular with people.
Such a complex and delicate wooden box, whether its structure or decoration, reflects the wisdom of ancient capitals.
We can put our important things in wooden boxes so that we won't lose them.
Yes, beside wood. In ancient times, people also made practical utensils from earthenware, ironware, bronzeware, and they painted various patterns on them.
Like the pots and bowls we use now?
Yeah, but in ancient times, there was no machine for mass production. So, each took was accumulated experience of craftsmen for decades.
Amazing! Can we also draw patterns on the cups next time in pottery class?
Sure. Looking forward to your work.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class. Today, we are going to talk about the beauty of appliance design.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Professor Chiu.
The appliance is a big concept, including utensils and tools, such as pottery, bronzeware, jadeware, bows and arrows, knives, etc.
I understand. Appliance stem out of people's need for its function. So, the function is always the foundation, but the beauty added to them, the design culture language to express ideas, fantastic and magnificent, majestic and plain, simple and vigorous, etc.
That's right. The culture of the appliance design originated in the primitive society, since which has usually been divided into Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, Steam Engine Age, and Information Age. With the development of the society, its technology and art are the precious cultural heritage of all mankind.
The ancient Egyptian culture was known as the father of ancient Greek culture, or the root of Western culture. From the design of moldering of instruments in ancient China and ancient Egypt during primitive society, design aesthetic differences of their cultures can be seen at the beginning.
Chinese pottery is mainly reflected in the Yangshao culture, Hongshan culture, Hemudu culture, and Majayao culture. Early pottery was dominated by geometric shapes and animal figures, including wild boar, birds, fish, etc., which showed the love and worship for nature.
With the emergence of animal husbandry and agriculture, pottery art grew rich, vivid, and flexible, such as newly unearthed color, pottery basin, with dancing lines from Majayao culture, which depicts a scene that people celebrated the harvest. Also, some scholars think it may depict something to worship, etc. And since then, the pottery culture was featured with society.
Again, painting the pottery basin with human face and fish patterns unearthed in Xi'an Banpo site of Shanxi. Some archaeologists think is a sign of the original tribal totem or tribal badge, etc.
Tribal totem is also the main graphics in pottery pattern, generally from a powerful beast. In ancient Egyptian pottery crafts, also arose in Neolithic culture period, mostly black rough pottery with terse model, natural lines, simple and elegant style.
Afterwards, painted pottery arose and influenced by West Asian style. Its pattern and structure had a certain format, refined, unified, and harmonious, as the painted pottery bore in crocodile lines.
Comparing Chinese painted pottery basin with human face and fish patterns, and Egyptian painted pottery bowl with crocodile lines, two cultures shook hands for the first time.
That was so much fun. The dancing painted pottery basin with 3 groups of dancers painted on the circular inner wall was unearthed in Ma Jiayao site. There were 5 people in each group, isolated by arc lines. The characters in the painting were hand in hand at the same pace, and their breaths and tears were swinging in the same direction. It was drawn in pure lines and color, clear and rich in adornment. The picture was warm but not white, expressing the fairy feelings of life.
Another painting amazingly similar to dancing painted pottery basin appeared in 1909 in a French painter Matisse oil painting Dance, in which 5 dancers were hand in hand, relaxed and joyful. The 2 paintings are full of vitality and passion, exuding mysticism and symbolism, and radiating the decorative beauty of inner force. The most modern art and the primitive art coincide in their expression technique, showing the mystery that the design language has influenced humans for thousands of years.
The representative pottery in the Xia dynasty was Yanshi Alitou culture in Henan province, Xia Xian Dongxiafeng culture in Shanxi, and Yueshi culture in Shandong. There was a great number of black pottery burned with pottery clay ash, and there was also hard and delicate white pottery burned with the clay of less impurities.
There were more varieties of pottery in the Shang dynasty than in the Xia dynasty, and more variations of ornamentation lines, stream grams in the early period, gluttony grams in the middle period, and refashioned, and single stream grams in the late period. White pottery thrived in the late period, reaching the climax. White pottery unearthed in Yinxu Anyang Henan province was of the most characteristics, with wine vessels like zhi, pot, zun, you, and cooking utensils like ding, beans, plate, gui, etc. The grams usually included cloud grams, swirl grams, gluttonous grams, cicadas grams, and zigzag grams, etc.
It's so rich. Bronze wares appeared earlier in many parts of the world than in China. First, bronze was used by people in the Anatolia Peninsula, where bronze wares made in 6000 BC were unearthed. Then, the Mesopotamia region entered the Bronze Age in 3000 BC. The ancient Egyptian civilization came after it. The Bronze Age in Europe began in 2300 BC and lasted for about 1000 years.
Ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and others were not rich in bronze and other mineral resources, which limited their production, and use of bronze, and their technology limited the decoration and the space of bronze wares. However, at the same period of bronze culture of the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties, ancient Egyptian stone tools of glass, metal, and wood craftsmanship reached the top level in the world. The ancestors of different regions used their old design language to create treasures for human civilization.
China began the Bronze Age in the Xia dynasty and ended in the Spring and Autumn period. Ancient Chinese bronzes were complex in shape, excellent in quality, and magnificent in vision. Sacrificial utensils, ritual utensils, weapons, production tools, carriage, and so on.
Was one of the most artistic charm.
Oh, one of the most artistic charm is sacrificial utensils. Supernatural animal patterns began to appear in bronze vessels. Spurring dragon culture, phoenix culture, gluttonous culture, and so on.
These supernatural patterns were mostly used in the royal sacrificial utensils, solemn, scared, and rich in savageness. Patterns in food vessels were more ornamental than those in ferocious ritual utensils, with vivid patterns of birds, deer, elephants, and tortoises, and geometric patterns, etc. But there were no patterns of human. The bronze wares of this period had rim square floated like Duke Mao tripod in the West Zhou dynasty, with a simple double ring below the rim and the tripods made into animal hoofs. Again, Hu, Gui in the late West Zhou dynasty had ears on both sides covered with gui, dragon lines. The rims and feet decorated with cracked lines. The abdomen and the square seat draw in vertical and parallel lines. The whole pattern was solemn and elegant, dexterous and vivid.
Bronze wares started Chinese metal craftsmanship. Gold handicrafts appeared in the Shang dynasty. During the Warring States period, gold and silver manufacturing technology developed, such as gold and silver plating. Then, the technology became more and more advanced, such as bronze, mirrors, and jewelry of the Tang dynasty, Xuande stove in the Ming dynasty, and cloisonne in the Qing dynasty.
Metal craftsmanship was extremely magnificent in ancient Egypt, for the Egyptians had mastered craft art that the modern people are skilled in: fusing, casting, hammering, covering, coloring, splicing, and others. They had religious appliances, jewelry, coffins, and funeral objects. In the Middle Kingdom, jewelry materials and makings were very fine and of a very high aesthetic value and perfect processing technology.
The 18th dynasty in Egypt was the first dynasty of ancient Egypt during the New Kingdom, and also the most powerful dynasty in ancient Egypt. About from the 16th century BC to the 13th century BC, when the stonecraft developed from the two-dimensional space to three-dimensional rapidly. Stonecraft in ancient Egypt changed from being simple to being neat and fine.
In addition to the stonecraft, glasscraft, and woodcraft in ancient Egypt were at a high level. Ancient Egypt was the birthplace of glasscraft. It was made by heated mixture of ash, sand, and natural carbonated soda, and it was bright, exaggeratedly decorative, beautiful, and well known in the world. In contrast, according to archaeological research, glass in the West Zhou dynasty was simple, dark, rough, and rare.
The woodwork in ancient Egypt mainly included decorative utensils and furniture, and the woodwork in the Middle Kingdom tended to be three-dimensional. Wood decorating utensils in the New Kingdom developed unprecedentedly fine and charming. The furniture at the time had four-legged, black rust seats, simple and grand.
In the Zhou dynasty in China, there were 6 crafts, that is, earthwork, metalwork, stonework, woodwork, leatherwork, and glasswork. In the spring and autumn and warring states period, wood carving technology was divided into architectural decoration, terracotta figures, religious statues, ritual sacrifices, etc. And lacquer painting was popular, such as wood carving female figurines in the Warring States period. The figurines were cut out of long wood, with only basic silhouettes and neat hair on the temple, featured and dressed in color painting.
We will continue our discussion in the next lesson on the beauty of appliance design. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.